Hi students, my name is Mrs. Berryhill, and today I'm going to read a book to you called Ish. I realize this is backwards, so sorry about that. This is I-S-H, Ish, by Peter H. Reynolds. This is a wonderful book about a young boy about your age named Ramon. And Ramon loved to draw anytime, any place, anywhere. It was his passion. He loved to draw. And then one day he was discouraged to draw. And this is a book about how he found his way back to drawing, and it's a great book. I want you to pay attention to what he does, and when it's over, we're going to do an art lesson that revolves around Ish. So here's the story. Ish by Peter H. Reynolds. Ramon loved to draw. Anytime, anything, anywhere. One day, Ramon was drawing a vase of flowers. His brother, Leon, leaned over his shoulder. Leon burst out laughing. "What is that?" he asked. Ramon could not even answer. He just crumpled up the drawing and threw it across the room. Leon's laughter haunted Ramon. He kept trying to make his drawings look right, but they never did. After many months and many crumpled sheets of paper, Ramon put his pencil down. "I'm done." Marisol, his sister, was watching him. "What do you want?" he snapped. "I was watching you draw," she said. Ramon sneered. "I'm not drawing. Go away." Marisol ran away, but not before picking up a crumpled sheet of paper. "Hey, come back here with that." Ramon raced after Marisol, up the hall and into her room. He was about to yell, but fell silent when he saw his sister's walls. He stared at all the crumpled gallery. "This is one of my favorites," Marisol said, pointing. "That was supposed to be a vase of flowers," Ramon said, "but it doesn't look like one." "Well, it looks vase-ish," she explained. Vase-ish? Ramon looked closer. Then he studied all the drawings on Marisol's walls and began to see them in a whole new way. "They do look ish," he said. Ramon felt light and energized. Thinking ishly allowed his ideas to flow freely. He began to draw what he felt, loose lines, quickly springing out without worry. Ramon once again drew and drew the world around him, making an ish drawing felt wonderful. He filled his journals. Tree-ish, house-ish, boat-ish, afternoon-ish, fish-ish, and sun-ish. Ramon realized he could draw his ish feelings too. Peace-ish, silly-ish, excited-ish. His ish art inspired ish writing. He wasn't sure if he was writing poems, but he knew they were poem-ish. One spring morning, Ramon had a wonderful feeling. It was a feeling that even ish words and ish drawings could not capture. He decided not to capture it. Instead, he simply savored it. Wasn't that a great story? I love that story. Here's some questions that I want you to think about now that we've finished with the story. What could Leon have said to Ramon to have been kinder? Laughing and saying, what was that? Wasn't very kind. What could he have said differently to be kinder? Also, have you ever heard people say hurtful things about your artwork or other people's artwork? Or what about if they said something ugly to someone about that when they were trying something new? How did that make you feel? How did it make the other person feel? These are the things that I want you to think about today as we do our artwork. Don't worry what it looks like. Don't worry if it's not right. You know, Ramon said things could not just be right. They weren't right. So today we're going to do some ish paintings and drawings. So if it doesn't look exactly right, if it looks ish, it's right. So just enjoy yourself and let's get on with our lesson. Okay, students, let's talk about the materials that you'll need before we start our project. The first thing I want you to do is get some paper towels or newspaper and cover your work area. You want to keep the table clean. You don't want to get paint on your mom's table and get in trouble. So cover it with something. I'm going to use a paper towel. Then you're going to use your canvas that was provided by the school. You don't want to get paint on your work area, so keep things nice and clean. You're also going to need paintbrushes. A variety of sizes is usually a lot more fun than just one plain size. You're going to need a pencil. You're also going to need a bucket of clean water. A small bowl will do. And I believe you were provided some paint from the school in little tubs. So we're just going to, I put mine on a little palette, but yours comes in little tubs. You don't have to do yours like mine. You can just leave it in the tub. And also a clean piece of paper towel underneath. When we wash our paintbrushes, we'll need a place to dry them. So you've got paper towels on your work surface, a very clean canvas, paintbrushes, a pencil, clean water, and your paint palette. Also a clean paper towel underneath your supplies. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do before we paint is we're going to draw. And Ramon started off with a series of things. He did a tree-ish, and he did a house and a fish, and all different types of things that weren't perfect, but they were ish. So let's start off with maybe doing something like a flower-ish. So I'm just going to draw a little stem. And I know that flowers have a circle in the middle, and maybe they have some petals that go out to the side. They're not exactly perfect, but it's a flower-ish. It looks sort of like a flower. I also know that flowers have leaves somewhere on the stem, and they're usually in the ground somewhere. So here's my flower-ish. You can do that, and then you can take some paint. Always get your paintbrush a little bit wet before you get started. Get it a little damp. And then you can paint it whatever color you want. Don't limit yourself to the colors that you always see. I think I'm going to do a purple and green. I'm sorry, blue and green for the petals. Most petals aren't blue and green, usually. the leaves or the blue-green part, but I want mine to be a little different. So you can just come in here and just paint whatever colors that you want. I'm just kind of smudging mine together a little. Coming back to the board. Sorry if there's a shadow. Don't get too much paint on your brush, but don't get enough to where it doesn't fill it in the way you want it to either. You don't want to overload your brush. Just gently just fill in what you like. Anytime you change colors with your brush, make sure you get all the paint that you had out and then just gently push it onto the paper. You don't want to pull it, it pulls the brushes out. So just gently pat it onto the paper. Get your brush nice and clean. And then I think I want my stem to be orange. It's flower-ish, but I know that most flower stems are not orange. What about purple? We could do purple leaves. Anything that makes you feel like you are having fun and doing it whatever colors you want. So there is my ish flower. You can do whatever you want. A tree-ish, a sun-ish, a house-ish, fish-ish. You could do, remember he did emotions too. You could do excited-ish. So that's one idea. Here's another. Another idea is that you can use the same materials, your canvas, your paint brushes, your paint palette, but this time I want you to take your canvas, have your pencil in your hand, and place it somewhere on the canvas, anywhere. I'm going to choose right here. Then close your eyes and draw lines. So I'm going to close my eyes right now, and I'm just going to draw some lines on my paper. I don't even know if I'm on the board or what. Okay? All right, what'd I come up with there? Oh, very interesting. I don't even know. So here's where your creativity comes into play. You can take the lines that you drew and create something from those lines. Like, what does that look like-ish? I think maybe it looks, let's say, shoe-ish. I could turn that into a shoe or a boot. What if I turned it around this way? Looky there. I could add a top to it and maybe give it some shoelaces. Here's my heel, here's my sole, and looky there. I've got boot-ish, shoe-ish, and then you could paint that. So that's another idea of what you could do with your canvas.